Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off today's presentation, The Architecture of Intimacy, Understanding Healthy and Unhealthy Needs in Relationships. Today, we'll explore how many conflicts stem from deeper, often unspoken needs rather than surface issues. We'll look into what drives our behaviors, whether it's respect, safety, appreciation, or closeness, and how misunderstandings about these needs can create distance. By the end, you'll have practical insights to foster healthier, more connected relationships. Let's get started. Understanding needs is really the foundation of intimacy in any relationship. It's crucial to recognize the difference between healthy needs and unhealthy needs, because this understanding shapes how we connect, build trust, and develop resilience together. When I talk about healthy needs, I'm referring to requests that promote connection, safety, and growth for both partners. These aren't about demanding perfection or trying to control the other person. Rather, they're about creating a respectful framework that encourages emotional closeness. Keep in mind, healthy needs support mutual understanding and help us feel secure and valued. Recognizing and expressing these needs clearly helps us deepen our emotional intimacy and strengthen the relationship overall. That's why understanding these categories really matters. It's the key to building a healthy, resilient partnership. Let's talk about some of the key healthy needs that form the foundation of a strong relationship. First, respect is absolutely non-negotiable. It means treating your partner as an equal, truly valuing their perspective, and speaking to them with regard, even during conflicts. Without respect, the closeness and trust that hold a relationship together can quickly fall apart. Next is kind communication. Decades of research by doctors, John and Julie Gottman, show that the first 3 minutes of a conflict are often a predictor of how the relationship will fare in the long run. Healthy communication avoids criticism, contempt, blame, and defensiveness. Instead, it emphasizes vulnerability and active listening, really hearing each other rather than attacking or dismissing. Then there's the need to feel valued and appreciated. Every person needs to know that their efforts, their presence, and their contributions matter. When we validate our partner, saying things like, "I see how much you do for us," it creates a sense of security. Conversely, invalidating comments like "you're too sensitive" can create distance and hurt. Finally, emotional and physical safety are crucial. Safety means being able to set boundaries without fear of punishment, being honest about your feelings, and trusting that disagreements won't escalate into verbal or physical harm. When these needs are met, it creates a trusting space where both partners can grow and connect authentically. Building trust and connection is at the heart of any healthy relationship. When our words and actions align consistently, we start to build that trust. It's also essential to recognize the role of accountability, acknowledging when we've caused harm, repairing it with empathy, and truly committing to change. A genuine apology validates your partner's experience instead of minimizing it, which is so important for healing. Now, let's talk about forgiveness. Resentment can really eat away at intimacy, so learning to forgive is crucial. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing the hurt or pretending it didn't happen, but it does mean letting go of the need to weaponize those past mistakes in future conflicts. When couples can't forgive, they often get stuck in a cycle of pain that's hard to break free from. And finally, we can't forget about affection and desire. Emotional safety often comes before physical intimacy. Acts of affection, whether through touch, paying attention, or expressing desire, are healthy and necessary. Without that emotional connection, relationships risk becoming more like arrangements of convenience rather than true, deep bonds. All these points connect back to our overall theme of building strong, trusting, and loving relationships. Let's talk about mutual influence and presence in relationships. Dr. John Gottman has found that when men resist accepting their partner's influence, there's actually an 81% chance that the relationship might fail. That's a pretty strong statistic, and it highlights how important it is to value feedback and share power equally. Mutual influence isn't just about having a voice, it's about respecting each other's opinions and making decisions together. This sense of equality also extends into everyday responsibilities like domestic labor and parenting, which are crucial for a balanced partnership. Now, moving on to attention and presence. Spending quality time together really helps strengthen the bond between partners. Of course, everyone has different needs. Some may want more time, others less. But what matters most is that each partner feels prioritized and truly chosen. It's about making your partner feel seen and valued, rather than neglected. When we nurture that sense of presence, we build a deeper, more resilient connection that supports the overall health of the relationship. Unhealthy needs are really the seeds of disconnection in any relationship. They often stem from fears, insecurities, or a desire to control, rather than genuine love and trust. When these needs take hold, they can damage the foundation of respect and authenticity that healthy relationships rely on. For example, control is a big one. When someone tries to dictate their partner's behavior, it's usually driven by fear, not love. It's about trying to manage or dominate rather than building trust. And it's important to distinguish that boundaries are about self-regulation, what I will do, rather than trying to force change in someone else. Boundaries protect our well-being, but control seeks to manipulate the other person. Another common unhealthy need is constant reassurance. It's natural to want reassurance sometimes, especially in uncertain moments. But when that need becomes relentless, when someone is constantly testing love or demanding proof, it moves from being healthy to destructive. This kind of anxiety-driven need ironically creates the distance it's trying to avoid, because it pushes a partner away rather than bringing them closer. So, understanding these unhealthy needs helps us see where disconnection can start, and how to work towards healthier ways of relating that foster trust and authenticity. Let's talk about behaviors that can really hinder connection in relationships. One common pattern is avoidance and fierce independence. Sometimes, we might refuse to address problems or avoid intimacy altogether. We might shut down during conflicts, thinking that protects us. But in reality, these behaviors create distance. When issues are consistently avoided, it becomes impossible for the relationship to grow closer. Another important point is the tendency to try to save the relationship alone. Some people end up carrying all the emotional labor, sacrificing their own well-being to keep things afloat. But true intimacy requires mutual effort from both partners. No matter how much one person overfunctions, it can't make up for the partner's unwillingness to contribute. These behaviors, avoidance, shutting down, trying to do everything alone, ultimately prevent the closeness we all want in a healthy relationship. Recognizing and addressing these patterns is a key step toward building stronger, more connected partnerships. Let's talk about some common communication pitfalls that can really undermine a relationship. First, withholding the truth. When we keep secrets or avoid sharing how we really feel out of fear of conflict, it might seem like a way to avoid trouble temporarily, but in the long run, it actually undermines trust. Transparency is so crucial, even when being honest feels uncomfortable. Being open builds a foundation of trust that can weather tough times. Next, there's the issue of mind-reading expectations. Expecting your partner to just know what you need without actually telling them is unrealistic and unfair. No one can read minds, after all. Healthy communication means clearly expressing your needs and feelings instead of assuming your partner will understand them automatically. When we communicate openly and honestly, it makes it easier for both of us to feel understood and supported. These pitfalls highlight how essential clear, honest communication is to building and maintaining a strong, trusting relationship. Let's talk about the concept of the balance, grieving what cannot be met. No relationship is perfect, and it's important to recognize that not every need will always be fulfilled. Therapist Terry Real asks a really insightful question. Are enough of my needs being met that I can grieve the ones that are? This question helps us assess whether we can accept the imperfections in our relationships. If the answer is yes, then feelings of gratitude and acceptance become key. They help sustain the bond and allow us to appreciate what is good, even if some needs go unmet. But if the answer is no, meaning too many needs aren't being met, then the relationship might feel unfulfilling. In that case, meaningful change is necessary for the relationship to truly work for both partners. This concept ties back to the overall theme that healthy relationships involve a balance, recognizing what we can accept and what might require change. It's about understanding that grieving unmet needs is part of the process, but also knowing when to accept and when to seek growth. So, as we wrap up, I want to emphasize that healthy needs are actually a fundamental part of building intimacy. They're not a sign of weakness or dependency. In fact, they form the very architecture of a strong, connected relationship. Respect, kindness, validation, affection, accountability, equality, and forgiveness. These aren't just optional extras. They are the essential soil where trust and passion can grow and flourish. On the flip side, unhealthy needs often stem from fear and a desire for control. While they might seem urgent or necessary in the moment, they tend to erode the connection rather than strengthen it. Recognizing the difference is crucial. The key invitation here is simple but powerful. First, to name your healthy needs honestly. Then, to truly listen to your partner's needs with openness and compassion. And finally, to grieve what cannot be met, because not all needs will be fulfilled all the time, and that's okay. This approach is about maturity, creating a relationship that isn't just about surviving, but about truly feeling alive and connected. When we do this work, we cultivate a relationship that's resilient, vibrant, and rooted in genuine understanding.